Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel for another exciting fun-filled episode on this Passagemaker dinghy build. We got lots to do, so let's get at it. Alright then, I've been agonizing for about an hour and a half now over the dry fit of this Dagger board trunk and make sure we're as close as I can get it. At some point I just got to go ahead and do it, I think. I think we're pretty close. I think it's good enough for now. It's just after all this work of now that I gotta drill the holes in the top and put the screws in. I did tighten down these screws in the back here. Hopefully you can see that. So I've tightened those screws down, and oh yeah, so then to keep everything in place, I got this rig here with a little fence post and then a reverse clamp providing pressure up to keep this in place. So it's pretty solid. It's pretty solid in there now. It's not going to move. And I'll probably use the same thing here when I go to when I actually go to glue it in, but for now we're just still working on the dry fit. So anyways, I think I'm ready to drill the holes that come from the bottom of the boat down into these pieces of wood right here on both the front and the back. So let's get that and see if we can not screw that up. All right, so I got them marked. It's about 3/4 inch from the edge of the hole. If I look in there with a light, I can see where the edge of the wood is there. So I'm about 1/4 inch shy on the front and almost flush here on the back. So I figure I'm still within 1/4 inch either way. So I got the 1/8 inch drill bit, and actually, so I had thought that one of the things I might try to do is, instead of using screws, I would use a dowel to pin it in place. But then I realized that if I'm doing the glue up, I don't have any way to cinch it down. You know, the pegs are just going to keep it from going back and front, force and side to side. On this side, it's not going to do anything for the other side. So I think I'm going to put screws in here, and then of course, like I showed you down below, use the clamp for the final positioning of it, I hope. So let's go ahead and get these holes drilled. I'm gonna go just straight about here, I think. All right, let's get those screws in there. Just take a quick gander underneath here to make sure it looks like we're straight. I didn't feel any movement there, so I think we're good in that aspect. All right, let's take a look underneath here and see how it goes. I'm not sure we're catching all the way there. I might need to countersink these guys a little bit, but we can get that later as long as we haven't moved underneath. All right, well, that looks pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and call that mostly success for now. So I think we're pretty good. I'm going to leave it set up just like this. Trying to do this one-handed is needs a little bit of practice. All right, I'm calling that good. Even if it's not, it's good. So I'll go ahead and yeah. So we've got a couple of days before the next big cool down, and that's it's pretty exciting because the low is going to be in the 60s. So that's going to give us good temperature. I'm hoping I can get this glued in, and at least the top part started maybe, and then also along we've got to put after the glue dries on the inside, we'll have to put fillets along there. So I'm hoping I got a couple good days before I leave on a trip coming up here to do some epoxy work. Yesterday I did get my dining room back, so I got everything out of there. I got all my epoxy back out here in the shed, so we're all ready to go once the weather cools down. Alrighty then, so according to the weatherman, tomorrow is going to be a 60-degree morning kind of day, and that means it's going to be just about right for the next couple of days to do some epoxy work out here. So I've been agonizing over getting that Dagger board chunk right. So what I've done here is I've got it pretty level, the boat pretty level this way. Of course, it's curved this way, so I can't really level that, but I've got it level side to side. Then I went out and bought me a nice fancy new laser level, if I can get under here without hitting it or the boat. So I went ahead and picked up this guy. It's self-leveling laser doohickey, and I've got it set up in here in the boat, and hopefully you can see, so it's right on the line. You can see it's most of it is on the string that I've got tied up here or strung up between the center line on the boat. And then I've put the Dagger board chunk in here. I don't know how well this is going to show up on camera. That might be a little better, maybe. But anyways, now I'm pretty confident that when we glue this in, we're going to be pretty darn close. The biggest problem I had, jeez, I'm bouncing this thing all over the place. The biggest problem I had was the screw up here, which was the one that gave us the problem to begin with. Right, so the screw hole, so I filled in the screw hole with wood glue and sawdust and parts and stuff, and tried to fill that in and then re-drill another hole. And right now I think what my process will be when I go to put this in is to, first of all, I'll have the laser level set up just about, I'll leave it right where it's at and then tweak it when we get going on this. But I'll put I'll get the epoxy, just a real thin on that. It'll be a thickened epoxy, but just a little bit to tack this guy down on the top, bottoms, and back here in the back. And then I'll put these two screws here in, and then I'll go ahead and put the back one up at the top. Then I'll center this guy on the laser level, this right here, and then put in my brace this way, and then finally come back up and put the screw in the top one up there. I may not tighten it down all the way, but anyways, so that's the plan. I think I'm good for a tomorrow morning getting this installed, I hope. I would also like to, I'm going to get it ready just in case I can, is go ahead and put the first layers of fiberglass up on top here. It'll depend on if I screw in all the way or not, or what I decide to do there. But I would like to get the fiberglass and the peel ply cut for doing the first layer on getting this down. And like I said, I'll put a thickened epoxy down first, and then put the fiberglass over it and wet out the fiberglass and put the peel ply on. So that's the plan anyways. We'll go ahead and I'll get set up for that, and then hopefully we'll be back out tomorrow morning and get this darn Dagger board glued in. All right then, it is early morning. I don't even know what time it is, probably 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning, 62 degrees, low humidity. Got some unthickened epoxy here, so I want to, let's see, so I'm going to put thickened epoxy on the horizontal surfaces down and unthickened up. So I'll put unthickened along the top here, and then on the Dagger board trunk itself, I'll put it on the bottom and probably along the edge that fits there. Then mix up some thickened epoxy and put it here and along here, and then on top of the Dagger board trunk. So hopefully that'll make sense when we get to it, but I'm trying not to make a mess is my whole goal here. And I did put got a couple of reference lines on here that I can hopefully take advantage of. Alright, get the Dagger board trunk. Alright, pretty sure this isn't going to be enough, but let's see how far it goes. I've got probably maybe not quite peanut butter mixture here, and got the chopped fiberglass in there. That's what I wanted to say. Oops, one thing I forgot. And this first glue in here is really just meant to kind of tack it in place and get it solid, so I can come back at a later date tomorrow and put the fillets in and get it all cleaned up, hopefully. So we've got a decent installation here. All right, mix up some more. All right, now I gotta butter up this the top of this Dagger board chunk, which ought to be quite the mess. All right, well, here goes nothing. Well, that wasn't quite the mess I thought it might be. Alright, I'm going to start at the back here. Alright, I think that's pretty darn close right there. Alright, well, I think that's about as close as I'm going to get it with using this laser level. Not sure if you can see how that looks, and I think looking at it on the screen there, looks like it's a little bit of parallax. It makes it look like it's a little bit off, but looking at it straight on, I think it's pretty darn close. I think it's got just a little bit of a twist to it. All right, I'll have to do now. My next plan is to do some cleanup here and put some of this leftover epoxy, thickened epoxy, in a syringe and see if we can fill in a few gaps that I see here, just to clean it up a little bit. Hopefully without moving it around at all. All right, still looking good. Got a syringe here. Not sure how this is going to work. That fiberglass, chopped fiberglass in there, it doesn't want to come out as a syringe for some reason. Big surprise there. All right, well, I think I got most of the big gaps filled anyways. That wasn't too bad. Just take a quick look here. Looks like we're still pretty much in line. Forgot my light. Yep, all right, so I'm gonna stop messing with this now. Well, I've got it mostly in place. And I'm gonna go ahead and do the first layer of fiberglass on the other side, the top side of the bottom of the boat, which is upside down now. So let me go ahead and get that set up, and we'll be back in a little bit. All right, for this top spot here where we're going to be putting in a fiberglass layer, just got some thickened epoxy that's not too thick, if that makes any sense. So it's pretty runny. I want it to get down and fill in the seam pretty good. I don't have any chopped fiberglass in it, so I'm using it more as a kind of a filler here than anything else. So let's see if we can get this in here. Almost like a thin fairing compound. And we'll be putting the fiberglass right over top of this. See if we can fill in these extra screw holes from putting in the pattern. All right, so I already got the fiberglass cut here. This is the that 1708 4-inch tape fiberglass. I'm going to go ahead and put it right in here. I'm going to use those big center holes, those holes right there, to kind of center it up and lay it down. Not good. Now mix up some unthickened epoxy and we'll wet that out, and then I've got a piece of peel ply to put over that. Hopefully this goes pretty. All right, just one more pump of epoxy and I think we're pretty much set. I'm not too worried about this center section here, though it does need cleaning up. Remember, we're going to be taking that part out when we route out the hole for the dagger board. All right, now for my favorite part, the peel ply. Don't see any. We got a pretty good coverage on that, and we'll be. Remember, this will be painted, but also once I think what I've decided to do is once I cut out the slot for the dagger board trunk here, then I'm going to put a piece of the 400 gram the white fiberglass over the whole patch area here, and probably down inside, just to reinforce that edge there a little bit. So let's get the peel ply on here and we'll be done with the fiberglassing for today. So I did take and have this pre-cut here, and then also ironed it to get the wrinkles out, or actually the creases are the biggest problem. No. Yeah, it might be a couple spots that are less than optimal, but overall I think I'm okay with this. Maybe. Yep. All right, good. I'm just going to check to make sure I didn't move anything underneath for the dagger board trunk, and then we'll clean up and be back out tomorrow to put the fillet around the dagger board trunk. So that'll be fun. Alrighty then, another day out here in the shed. As you can see, we got a little bit of waviness here on the bottom where I put that thickened epoxy. We'll have to see how it looks when we take the peel ply off, but I'm fine with, even if I have to sand this down a little bit and go through the fiberglass a little bit, I'm fine with that, since well, like right here in the middle where there's a nice bump, that'll be taken out by the slot, and then like I said, we'll be putting at least 2 more coats of epoxy over the whole thing. So not too worried about that. I think we did that good. I'll probably Thinking if I need to take this peel ply off or if I'm just going to leave it on here. For now, we'll leave it on. Let's take a look. Let's take a look under here and see how this is looking. Let me get the light on here. All right, well, let's go ahead and get this guy off of here. Yeah, I can do this one-handed. All right. Ooh, 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 ooh. All right, nice and solid, nice and solid. Just got a couple spots I'm going to clean up here real quick. And then we'll, yeah, so I was, I don't know what I was thinking, but my original plan was to go ahead and do the all the fillets with the boat like this, but these ones upside, or that are upside down here, I think would be a little bit difficult. So I'll go ahead and do this on both sides, the bottom part, and then we'll have to wait for this other part to when we turn the boat over the next time. So I'm still not sure on the order of operations here, but this feels real solid. It's not going anywhere. So good, so let me get this cleaned up, and then we'll get these fillets put in here on the bottom, on this bottom parts here this morning. All right, went ahead and hit this with some 40 or some 80 grit sandpaper, just hand sanded it just to get rid of the pokey bits, wiped it down and vacuumed it, and I think we're ready to go. I got a little bit of thickened epoxy. I'm pretty sure this isn't nearly enough epoxy, but it's been a while since I've done this, so we'll see how this goes. I'm going to go ahead and put a pretty thick fillet in here. Let's see how this looks. Oops. These exterior corners I don't have quite figured out yet, especially ones like. Good news is I've got plenty of working time. It was it's around 58 degrees out here this morning, so I'm pretty darn happy about that. So I got lots of time to to mess this up. That's going to have to be, I'm going to have to probably come back out here after an hour or so to do the finger with the denatured alcohol. To clean that up, so I'm not going to mess around with that except to put just a touch more in this bottom part here. Alright, that doesn't look too bad. I'm going to go ahead and switch to the other side. Hopefully I got most of that. I'm going to go ahead and switch to the other side and get that done, and then we'll see where we end up at. So it's about an hour, probably an hour and a half since I put these fillets in, and I just came back out and used the denatured alcohol with my the heavy glove, the heavy rubber glove, in my finger to go ahead and smooth that out. So it doesn't look too bad. I think it's good enough for what we want to do. I did have a little bit left over, and I tried smoothing out the edge where we had the plug sitting up. But for now, I'm pretty happy. Probably could have even done the top. I had a little bit more left over, and I just did this front part here, and probably could have done the whole thing. But this is good for now. So we'll go ahead and leave this here and let this set up. All right, then. Pretty excited. Looks like we're back to making some progress here now that we've got the Dagger board chunk in and got the installation started again. So hopefully we'll get back on track here. I will be out of town this next week. In fact, this video that you're seeing, I'll be out of town, and then I'll be back. I'm not sure if I'm going to have time for a Monday video the week after this one, or if I'll switch to a Wednesday evening. Anyways, we'll keep at it, and if we get busy here, we might get back to 2 videos a week, but we'll see how that goes. Anyways, thanks for watching. Thanks for your support. Make sure you're hitting that like button. Please leave me any comments, questions, suggestions down below. Please tell your friends about me, and please subscribe. Everyone, take care and be good.